Hi, Toto. It's Aussie Villain. Yeah, look, mate, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. No, I'm not, because your engine's let me down in Baku. High performance, the sign says, mate, not losers power at turn 1. Hey, you leave my driving out of this. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome to episode 5 at Aussie Villain Racing. It is the Canadian Grand Prix today, and well, we've got a little bit to catch you up on that's happened off the track before we get to on the track. Hopefully, well, we'll qualify well again today like we did at Azerbaijan, and maybe not have our engine give out on us, and maybe a dry race would be nice as well. Now, we have spent a little bit of money. You may have noticed at the top there, we only have just over $500,000 left. The reason for that is that we've just upgraded in the aerodynamics, the build time to be reduced by 20%, so that's $1.5 million, so that has happened. Money spent, but I think hopefully anyway it'll be money well spent. Now if we go and have a quick look at R&D, and we'll see a few other things that are here. If we go and have a look at R&D progress, we don't have any upgrades coming for this race, but what you will see here is that we do have we did get the engine weight reduction. That's we're done now. We will have the next two parts, the powertrain there, the ignition system, and the rear downforce. That'll be done in time for the next race, which I believe is it France, I think? And then the major development of the weight reduction on the engine cover, that'll be done for the race after next, which I believe is Austria. So if you have a look at, you can see the performance comparison over there on the right-hand side. I mean, everybody else will move forward as well, but the way it would look right now, we'd be roughly equal with Alpine, which isn't a bad place for us to be. Now, if we just quickly keep going across here to the vehicle, now we have, you can see, made two changes. The internal combustion engine, we've gone for a second one of those for the season, as well as the turbocharger. I think it was the ICE. I think this is what let us down in Azerbaijan. So we'll make that change, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Everything else, though, is roughly good on the first component. We could probably get away with the turbocharger for another race, but Canada, high-power track, I think we'll make the change for that one. And the gearbox, it has 2 races to go before we get the free change on that. The corporate side of things, if we just quickly go back to the end here, we're level 6 acclaim now, so we need to get to level 4, as you can see there, to be able to get another sponsor. But we're up to 140 grand a week now for our secondary sponsor, and again, they roughly double it if we outqualify Latifi. That will be a big goal at his home Grand Prix this weekend. And if we go across here, contracts, nothing here has changed. That is all still the same. The finances, you can see our ins and outs of what we've done. You can see there the 1.5 million that we put into the facility upgrades, and the finance history, again, the drop because we upgraded or invested in the aerodynamics department. So that is everything caught up on. A reminder of the standings. Again, we're still bottom. We need to finish second bottom to get the big season bonus. Markelov is still ahead of us. We're dead last in the championship. Hopefully that's going to change today. And if we go and have a look at our rivalry as well with Nicholas Latifi, he's a little bit ahead of us as well. 5 races remaining. We would do well if we could get ahead of him coming out, I should say, of this Canadian Grand Prix. So that's everything caught up on that's happened off the track. Let's go and, let's go to Canada. So if we go and have a look at our messages coming into the weekend, we can see the weekend preview there. The all-important weather forecast. There is no rain. Thank Christ for that. It's going to be dry. I'm going to go do some free practice. I'll see you for qualifying 1. And, we got out of qualifying 1 in Azerbaijan. Let's see if we can do the same thing in Canada. All right, here we go. It is qualifying in Canada time. We've done free practice. It went pretty well, actually. I think we came 12th, 10th, and maybe 9th in the 3 free practice sessions. Easy for you to say. If you want to see the timings and all that, it's a link to the description down in the Discord. I post all the free practice times in there. But yeah, let's go and see if we can make Q2 again. Maybe even Q1. Top 9 in one of the practices. Okay, here we go. Coming out for our first crack at qualifying 1. Now, we should, and I stress should, be able to get out of Q1 here relatively comfortably. So my goal here is just to lay down a little bit of a banker lap before we sort of go all out. So like I say, we should be okay here. Now, I got turned in ridiculously early there. The track just seems to keep coming. It's not the best I could have taken that. Stay close to the wall, just a meterboard brake, turn her in. A little bit wide there again. It's not the cleanest lap I've done so far. Open the DRS. See how we're going here. Doesn't look like anybody else has set a time as of yet. Deep again. Nice and early on the gas. This is the one corner on the track, the hairpin. I really don't feel like I've got the best way around it yet. I think we've gone a little bit too fast in. If we can get a good exit, we might be okay with that. We took sort of, what they call it, more minimum apex corner speed or whatever they say. Open the DRS, and now this is far and away the most fun corner on the track. You brake ridiculously late. You switch it in. I've maybe cut the corner there. Are we going to get away with it? Let's go to the line, and what have we done? I can't look up just yet. So we did a 1:11.3, and it was indeed quick enough to get us out of Q1 for the second race in a row, which is excellent. We go and have a quick look here and see how everybody else did. Now we are almost a second ahead of Markelov. Now that, and this is where I'll probably need you guys' feedback, makes me wonder if we need to raise the difficulty level a little bit, because beating our teammate by over a second is probably not a good look, is it? When the skill is at 75. But we've beaten Latifi, that means we've won our rivalry. So let's get into qualifying 2, and see if we can find, what do we need, about a quarter of a second or so to get into the top 10. Alright, and here we go, and I do think, first attempt at Q1, that our first lap in Q1 was scruffy enough to think that there is a quarter of a second out there. We were not the best through this first little complex on our first lap. That felt a little bit better, though not ideal. We missed that completely. That's going to cost us time. We'll see how we go. We'll stick with it. I haven't really nailed that either, have I? It's not been... It's another scruffy lap, isn't it? Alright, and here we go. Second attempt. Fresh set of tyres. Let's see what we can do here. It's very tempting to get on the gas too early there, but we've made a little bit of time. Now, this is a corner I'm really not happy with so far. That is better. Made a little bit more time through there as well. Purple first sector. Go on, Aussie Villain. Faster than anybody, that means. If you... Oh, we just got a little bit wide there. That's going to cost us a little bit of time. Alright, let's see if we can do a little bit better into this one. That is pretty good. We've only got 2 laps. That is pretty good. Are we looking half a second up? Are we looking at a Q3 qualification here for us? It's not the best, that. It's not the worst, though, either. We're still half a second up. 7 tenths of a second up. Oh, we could even be on provisional pole here. We are surely going into Q3. We're already in 8th. We're 7 tenths of a second up. We can nail this last bit. Come on, man. That's pretty good. It's very good. It's extremely good. Stay close to the wall. Are we going to go P1? We are! So as you would perhaps expect, we didn't stay P1. But P4, that is, I mean, I'm thinking now, is it just that I'm particularly good at this track? Or is it a case that we might need to raise the difficulty level? Because it's not like, it's a bit of a hollow win, isn't it? If we just, but it's the same difficulty level we've had all the way through, more or less. So, alright, Q3 for the first time, here we go. Alright, so for the first time in Q3, here we go. Now this is a used set of tyres, we'll keep the fresh set for a second run. That's usually what they do, isn't it? We've gone in a little bit too deep there, and I'm tempted to abort this already, you know. But what we'll do is we'll keep going, set ourselves a time that we can chase when it comes to going in the, you know, for the second run. Let's see what we can do here. A little deep again there, really, wasn't it? I think, too, the fact that I didn't completely nail that lap in Q2, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Do we use this race? We'll see how the race goes, first of all. I am just a better qualifier than I am racer anyway. But I wonder if this is evidence that we need to, the time has come to boost up that skill level. If the race goes well, then maybe the time has come. Because we shouldn't be, I mean, we shouldn't be that much better than the AI in the same car as us, should we, really? But like I say, this is maybe just a track that works for me, I don't know. Pretty good again. Let's keep it right over here. Shortest run to the line, and a 1:11.3. Alright, here we go. Final run. Now, after the first runs, we are in P10. but these tyres should be at least half a second quicker just based on the fact that they're new. Now, this is the corner that we've not always done the best, and we're still... Oh, we've mucked it. Is that going to cost us anything more than position 10 on the grid? Oh, that corner just... The road just seems to keep going over to the right-hand side there. Alright, let's see if dropping back to second helps us. We've got a better exit.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
We are 3.5, maybe 4 tenths up by the end of this straight. Six tenths up. Alright, so this is if we can hold it through these last few corners. We're going to be in for a really, really good spot on the grid. I've gone a slightly bit deep. Oh, no.
Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please.
So we were looking good, 6, 7 tenths. It probably would have put us ahead of the Ferraris in behind Max Verstappen. So, all right. Let's go to the race, and I will make sure I save the replay this time. Could we be in for points today?
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Norris, Ricciardo, Max Verstappen and Leclerc, Perez, Sainz, Vettel and Oldtimer, Stroll, Ocon, Fernando Alonso and Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Russell, Yuki Tsunoda, they've taken a grid penalty, and Mick Schumacher, Latifi, Markelov, Gasly and Nikita Mazepin. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, now having qualified for Q3, I don't believe we have any strategy options, do we? We have to go with the tyres that we qualified on. It looks like the mediums will get us to the end, so there is no real strategy to talk of, so let's do this. Okay, so here we go. I was incredibly nervous. We're just in the points, starting in the top 10. We get off to a relatively, quite a good start actually, but then this happened.
We're accumulating some wear on the MGUK. To manage this, we'll need to lower our ERS deployment mode.
So the perfect start to the race. I almost drove off the road in shock, but in the end we just kind of settled in behind Sebastian Vettel in 10th place. So we kept our spot off the, there we go, just taking a minor shortcut there. There was a weed that was just needed to be cut, so that was fine. We took care of that. But yeah, just settled into 10th spot, nicely done, hitting apexes there, a little bit wide, perhaps one apex. But yeah, we were off to a good start. A little bit of a dodgy exit there, defending from Alonso behind us, but we did that okay. And then on we go, looking at Vettel. But yeah, Alonso just being a little bit pesky, but almost drove up the back of Vettel there, didn't I? Everybody sort of checking up at the hairpin. But you know, not a bad first lap so far. Onto the back straight we go. And we've got the ERS. I didn't, sorry, not the overtake button. I didn't use that, but didn't want to run up the back of anybody. Really just wanted to try and stay in 10th and not stuff up, if I'm honest. And we did a decent job of that. Coming in to turn 1 here. Yeah, was a little bit concerned about running up the back of Vettel again, but in the end, there you can see it was all good. And 1 lap down, 18 to go. Interesting cam review here as we come into this. I love that corner. Bit of a shortcut perhaps there again. But yeah, a little bit wide. And yeah, again, just maybe inside the apex, I call that. Over apexing, we'll call that. But again, not the greatest exit out of that corner. That's 0 from 2 there, isn't it? But I think we, at this point, we are...
Okay, we're reaching a danger point with the wear on the MGUH. Overheating the engine will exacerbate the issue.
We are faster than Vettel at this point, but of course the engineer just needs to stop giving me bad news, to be honest. And at this point I am fearing we're not going to have another failure, are we? We did, of course, at Azerbaijan last race have an issue that really, I mean, we didn't retire because of it, but we were just sitting ducks down the straights. And a track like Canada here, obviously, we don't want to be sitting ducks down the straights again. But we're catching up to the back of Vettel, which is good. We seem to be pulling away from Alonso as well, so that's good. He, you know, we're not dragging him up to the back of Vettel with us. we are sort of pulling away from Alonso and catching Vettel. Terrible exit there, as you can see. I think, and it was an issue that I've had on most tracks, you may have noticed, is sort of turning a little bit to the inside under acceleration. I think that's something, and if you know how to set up a race car, let me know in the comments. But I think it might be a case, and you can see there again, not a little bit, I don't know, squishy almost under acceleration. I think it might be a case of maybe our springs, our suspension, I should say, is a little soft, or maybe
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Or maybe it could be a case of the ride height needing to be a little bit stiffer as well. But as you just heard, DRS is open. This is a DRS zone, and well, we're not really close enough to Vettel here, are we? There's a little bit of smoke out the back of the car. That's concerning. But yeah, I think I ended up just going off of the overtake button. A little bit of a hop of the curb there as well. But yeah, you can see we've got DRS open. Closing in on Vettel. Do we have a little dig? No, not quite close enough there, were we? And again, we stay behind Vettel. And again, accelerating off to the inside there. I mean, a lot of it, the major issue is just me getting a little bit greedy on the accelerator. But oh, another one where we're dodging off to the inside there, all over the shop. But yeah, I do wonder if maybe if it's a stiffening of something that needs to happen to make sure that we're just a little bit better perhaps on exit. I do think car setup is maybe something that I'm not good at all. Oh, Vettel locks the brake, and we have a little look, but get out of that for the sake of our front wing. But good to see we're putting Vettel under pressure, and he's made a mistake. And oh, we almost went at the back of him there again. Alonso is getting interested in this now as well. So Vettel is looking like the cork in the bottle, as they say. Now, DRS, overtake button. Are we close enough? Are we close enough? Not quite, it would look like, doesn't it? No. Bail out of that. Try and stay close through here, and we could have a dig into turn 1. But, I mean, exits, I think, and again, it could be a car setup. We're not the best out of the corners. Oh, and almost up the back of Vettel. Front nose was sucking in there, wasn't it? But, yeah, and again, you can see off the exit. Yeah, like I was saying, setting up a car is not necessarily my strength, I would say. I mean, not even nothing's my strength. My strength in this game is, I don't know, oof, braking on the grass. That's a good way to end up in the wall, Aussie Villain. Again, all over the shop. Interesting camera angle, this one. But yeah, you know, maybe car setup is somewhere that, as much as my ability to actually just drive, car setup is maybe another place where we could find a fair bit of time. I wish there was a way, and I don't think there is, just blocking a little bit from Alonso there, slightly defensive. If there was a way to see what Markelov's setup was, or if he's sort of running the same setup as me. I'm not sure. If you do know, again, another question for the class perhaps, as we've had a little bit of trouble here with DRS to Alonso, who's going to be chugging up behind us. And we also just hung on to the back of Vettel enough to get it. I think without that we may have been in some serious trouble there. But 5 laps completed now. Of course, we're coming into pits on lap 7 as we go very close to the back of Vettel again. You can see we're definitely quicker than him. We just aren't quite close enough to get him at the end of the lap, and then we seem to lose the back of him sort of through this section onto the back straight, coming up towards the hairpin. Sort of from the hairpin up to turn 1, we're definitely quicker, but this section of the track we seem to struggle to a bit of a brake lock up there from Vettel again, was it? We just, yeah, you can see there we lose him through that corner, and then through this upcoming sequence as well, this chicane. We just start to lose the back of him, and then by the time we get to the hairpin and up, sort of up the I guess it's the front straight, as we've got a little bit of work to do here as Alonso's got to run.
Incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time, and there are no plans for a safety car right now.
So yeah, I mean, a little bit wide there again. We are in serious trouble. You can see we've got the overtake button on to defend, trying to just stay far enough ahead of Alonso. He would do well to overtake. You sort of already have to have the move done by the time you get to the chicane. Looks like it was Lance Stroll. Oh, Jesus Christ, I don't remember getting that close to the wall. Lance Stroll out of...
Push now. We're boxing this lap.
So there we go, confirmation. We're boxing at the end of this lap. yeah, Lance Stroll for what would be, if we're 10th, that would be 12th place, ducked into the pit. You may have just seen behind us there, moving Raikkonen up to 11th. But yeah, I mean, as I say, we're definitely quicker than Vettel. I just can't quite get away past. I can see there's a green sector there, which is obviously good to see that we're we're still able to set best times. That was a little bit of a better exit. But again, we're still not quite close enough, and with pit stop at the end of the lap, it seems an unnecessary risk to try, and it's not the best exit again, is it? An unnecessary risk to try and overtake him, and after that exit out of that last chicane, there's no chance anyway. But, I mean, Alonso is just sticking there with us as well. You can see the rest of the field, they're still on the same straight within sight, so if we can get Vettel, and maybe we could jump him in the pits here, but if we look at that, they're all still there. If we could get past him, there is maybe some more points on for us here, but Vettel is pitting as well. I was really cautious not to run up the back of him. I was worried he might come in the same lap. You can see there's quite a bit of pit stop action going on. Now the question is, Aussie Villain Racing pit crew versus Aston Martin's pit crew. How do we compare? The problem we're going to have is that he's going to have right away, and there he is. I mean, I love an Aston Martin as much as the next guy, but I'm getting sick of looking at the back of Vettel.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
So there we go, coming out of the pits. I wasn't quite sure where the game was going to give control back to me, and it was not the best point. But yeah, I'm fairly annoyed that we've basically made our pit stop and we are still where we are. Now there's obviously a concern, and again, braking on the grass. Man, I've got to be careful where I'm putting the car there. There is now got to be a concern about Alonso going at least a lap longer if he's able to jump us both. I think we should be okay because we were driving away from him at the start, but of course Vettel, he was holding us both up. A little bit of a lunge as Pierre Gasly was that out of the race. Now, what we've done there is not overtaking, but we've not allowed him to get a great exit. This is a chance. This is a chance. We're going to have DRS. We're on the battery pack already. Surely this is going to be it. We go to the inside. Vettel tries to block. It's too late. We're already there. And it is done. There we go. Nice move, Mr. Aussie Villain. We'll have another look at this on a replay. And there we go. Pulling to the inside. Just had the brake roughly when he did. Vettel pulls in behind us and job done. Now you may see a train of cars ahead of us. This is a Haas train. Mick Schumacher and Mazepin yet to stop, and they are basically holding up all the front runners, and I guess we can include ourselves at this point. They're basically holding up a train of all the front runners. So there we can see there the McLarens. I think both Ferraris are in there.
Caution.
You can see to the inside there, Pierre Gasly retiring. It just caught my eye, and I sort of overshot the corner a little bit, so I wasn't exactly sure if Gasly had stopped or not, if there was a crash and he was going to come back on the track. But we didn't lose too much there. Just taking a minor track adjustment. But yeah, we can see that having Mazepin in front of us, the Gasly yellow, a couple of scruffy corners, it's brought Vettel right back up behind us. And, well, we just need to try and make sure we can get Maz. Look at that, look at the train of cars. The race is really, really opening up for us, isn't it? Unfortunately, we've made our stop, so we don't, we're in the same sort of age ties as everybody in front of us. But it's so, that's a bit of a shortcut there for me as well. But we've got a decent exit. I've hit the wrong button there. Mazepin, a little bit of a bump. That's not ideal. We go to the inside and we get the move done. But Vettel ducks through as well, and he's on our inside there, but he pulls in behind. Another look on the replay. A bit of a lunge there on Mazepin, but of course we pushed him wide. Vettel had an opportunity, but in the end we just had a good enough traction off the corner to keep Vettel behind us. The last thing we want is to get Sebastian Vettel back in front of us. You can see the train is still there. Mick Schumacher is still holding everybody up there. They are there. Red Bull in there as well. So, it's very, very much, still there for us. Look at the train. Look at the train. If we could get there, couldn't get there quick enough, could we? If we can get there while Schumacher is still holding them up before he goes in the pits, then if we can make a lunge on someone like Ricciardo, who was the car ahead of us. I think it was Sainz in front of him, Verstappen, Perez, whoever was the Red Bull, probably Perez, you would imagine. Look at how close we're getting. Now, we are in DRS zone, are we? Maybe of Daniel Ricciardo here. No, it looks like the flap's closed. But, I mean, look at the train. Look at it. It's ridiculous. We'll have to see. There you go. There's a Ferrari having a lunge at Schumacher. It's a crazy race, isn't it? In front of us, another shortcut by me, cheeky. But Ricciardo, now look at how much slower the Haas's are. Can we get close enough to put a move on Ricciardo? The McLarens are quick. We saw that in qualifying. But can we get close enough here? If we can get a good exit out of this corner, maybe Mick Schumacher can block him in for us. But it wasn't a great exit, was it? They're driving away from us. And Ricciardo goes to the outside of Schumacher. Now this is going to get awkward. If we can get a good exit here, we're going to be a chance. Ricciardo's got the Haas. Now, can we get Mick Schumacher? We're down the inside, wrong side for the hairpin here, of course. And, oh, Ricciardo didn't want to run up the back of him. We've gone very deep. Ricciardo's gone deep. He's looking in his rear vision mirror thinking, don't you hit me, you Aussie bastard. But we've got Vettel up the inside of us as well. We haven't got a great exit. And, well, we're going to go 3 wide, are we? Schumacher in the middle, Vettel to the inside, we're on the outside, we back out of it. Again, Vettel's in front of us, which is a pain in the backside, but try and get a good exit. Then look at that, Alonso behind us as well has joined the battle. Schumacher blocking from Vettel, but look at that double move down the inside. It's a lunge, it's a big lunge, but we managed to keep it on the road, and we'll have another look at it. It's just... don't move, I am coming through. It's like a Ricciardo, lick a stamp and send it. And thankfully nobody moved in front of us because we were not stopping if that had been the case. So we get Schumacher and back in front of Vettel, and now we can turn our attention to trying to keep up with the back of the McLaren ahead of us. But you know, they qualified, was it second row of the grid, I think? So we know that they are just faster cars than us, and with you know, overtaking Vettel, that should put us, once all stops are done, in a place to get, what, 9th, because we were 10th behind Vettel, weren't we? And oh, that looked a little bit close to the wall, and that is a terrible exit that opens the door again. Schumacher closing in on us. The exits of the corners, it really is letting us down again. You can see a poor exit. I don't know if it's maybe a case of going into the corners a little bit hot, perhaps, going in a little bit too quickly, and that's costing me on the exit, but yeah, it's certainly a place that we can look to work on in the car. There's Schumacher going into the pits. So that releases Vettel, Alonso, I think it's Raikkonen, Ocon. You can see there's a train of cars there. The gap between first and sort of the back of the lead group now must be, well, not even the lead group, but you know, it's whoever it is that's behind us. There's got to be 5 or 6 cars behind us, and we know that there's 5 or 6 cars not that far in front of us. Oh, trying to get that weed again. That's obviously not going to do our exit any favours. Vettel is putting big pressure on us. Not the greatest. We've gone too deep in the first part of that corner. Another poor exit. We go across the cover. Vettel's got the DRS open. Can we keep him on the outside? Keep him behind us? We just... Oh, he's hit us. Vettel has lost a part of his wing, and that is... Well, that's going to hurt his performance. It looked like a big part of his wing, didn't it? Didn't quite back out of it enough. Now, there's obviously going to be a question of, did we do any damage to our tyre? You can see Vettel is so slow around that hairpin. That's going to hold up that train behind him, and we're going to skip ahead a little bit because basically that did leave a little bit of a gap, and we come back lap 16, 3 to go, and I've made a mistake there. Alonso has caught us up. Raikkonen, there is still a fair big gap, so we're looking good for at least a point if 10th. But obviously, we don't want to lose out to Alonso. There's another classic Aussie Villain exit from the hairpin. And again, we find ourselves in big trouble with DRS and no doubt battery for Alonso. We're on the battery as well. We go to the middle of the track, just trying to coax him to the outside. Late on the brakes, and we have the corner, so he has to back it off and doesn't get the greatest of exits. And so we get a little bit of a reprieve down the front straight. 2 laps to go though now. And at this point too, I'm really starting to struggle on this medium tyre. I don't know why I was struggling so much compared to the soft, where we saw even the last lap before our pit stop, we were setting green sectors for ourselves. But yeah, really, it's just starting to, you can see how wide we are there, trying to keep it flat. Just struggling for grip. I don't know if we've maybe done a little bit of floor damage or something perhaps as well, which is hurting us. But the wing looks a little bit damaged, doesn't it, on the sort of the right front of it. But again, we're struggling to get through that chicane. Again, a poor exit out on the curb. And again, this is going to put us under big pressure from Alonso coming up this long backs of, is it the back straight? Whatever this is. The straight towards the front straight anyway. DRS is going to be open for Alonso. Can we hold him out? This is the second to last lap, of course, the penultimate lap, as the great Murray Walker would say. A little bit of a shortcut. I think I actually got done for it. I got a warning for that. That was definitely a little bit cheeky of me, but DRS open for Alonso. He's going to the inside. We're late on the brakes. We just about keep him behind. Can we get back to the apex again? We can. Some decent defensive driving.
Final lap of the race.
Thank you, Jeff. Confirmation, this is the final lap of the race. Can we keep Alonso? Interesting view, that one, isn't it? Can we keep Alonso behind us? Oh, it's terrible. You can see it. I'm really struggling. Oh, we're out. Did we hit the wall there? I may have just kept it out all the way to the inside, trying to make sure Alonso can't get down the inside of us. Middle of the road. Oh, again, terrible through that chicane. Alonso doesn't look like he got the greatest exit himself. It's the final time into the hairpin. It's going to come down to the back straight, isn't it? Can we get a good exit? It is a relatively good one. We straightened the exit of the corner, and we got the power down nice and early. Alonso is as far back as he's been on this straight. A little bit of weaving trying to keep him out of our slipstream. The DRS is open. We're on the battery. Can we do this early on the brakes? Just want to get a good exit out of this corner. I haven't got a great one. Alonso is there. Oh, he's not. It's going to be tight. He's got his DRS open. Are we going to get there? Oh, just
Okay, pick up rubber.
P9. Go on. Points.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
Oh, look, it's a wonderful day for everybody here at Aussie Villain Racing. I didn't think this day was ever going to come, but it was a good day today. We had a good battle on track with Seb, Fernando at the end there as well. But, you know, for everybody that said I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too slow, this one's for you, Mum. And if we go and have a look at the standings, we can see that, there we go, 12th. We're ahead of Alonso in the standings now, and Ocon. And if we look at the constructors, well, we've moved ourselves up into 8th. Now, of course, we only need to not come last. And there's a fair chance that Haas and Williams won't score any points all year. So that one race could just about have got us the money that that the sponsors will give us should we meet that goal. But yeah, there we go. Excellent stuff. Bravo. So there we go, back at the factory. Let me know, let me know what you think we do with the skill level. We do have some upgrades coming for next race, which is France, I believe. If you have enjoyed that, guys, make sure you hit thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Points. I did not expect that when we started today. Take care. See, I can do it.